Hey, hi everyone. Mr. Math Wonder Woman here again. This is the third of the videos that I'm filming back to back to back to make up for not having posted videos for a couple of weeks and having a bunch of things that I wanted to say and post, but just not being able to get out of my own way to be able to do the posting. So I'm trying to cram it all in now. So the first video that I posted, so 2 videos before this, was a sort of intellectual discussion about how I came to the decision for having the double mastectomy with reconstruction, um, and, and how I felt about making that decision. The second video, so the one before this, was on the physical actual surgery itself and on how, like, what is going to actually happen to my body with the implants and with the reconstruction. This video is on a very different level. It doesn't have a lot to do with any of the surgery, really, or anything. It is more an acknowledgement of myself and of my current and future state. Today is my birthday. It's May 15th, and most people who know me don't know that it's my birthday because I never talk about it. I never talk about my birthday, and I always try to avoid my birthday, and even my husband does not wish me happy birthday most of the time because he knows I just want nothing to do with it. And so this video is going to be kind of a deeply personal video explaining that and explaining my perspective going forward. So, when I was a kid, I did not have a lot of friends. I was not popular. And I never really got invited to birthday parties. And when I had birthday parties, they were always family. And of course, your family always tries to say, oh, family's all that matters. And I would have the typical family birthday party. And that was great and fine. And when you're a little kid, that's okay, but then when you get to the point when you're, in elementary school and then going into, middle school, you start to notice it, and you start to feel very isolated, and I was never a popular kid. Was picked on and bullied, and so I never had a lot of friends. I never had big birthday parties, and I just sort of convinced myself that birthdays didn't matter because it just always reminded me that I had no friends. It was just always they would happen, and it was like, oh, well, great, here's my birthday. What's the point? I don't have friends to share it with. I'm not, like, who cares? So that was the beginning of my having no interest in birthdays. And then as I got older, I had sort of hardened myself to it. I'm like, I'm just not a birthday person. Don't care, don't want to have anything to do with it. And then as I got older, birthdays started to have a different meaning that I didn't like either. It was another negative connotation. My life has not turned out the way I had wanted it to. Most people's don't, and I know that, and that's just life. And every year as I got older, the birthdays were a reminder of what to me was like a failure of life. I don't have a career. I have gone through multiple things that I thought were going to be a career. I had originally wanted to spend my life working with horses. I wanted to be a farm manager. I worked with horses for 10 years. I loved it. I love animals. That was just like the best thing. Um, and I thought that that was going to be my career path, and I was going to basically be an equestrian. I actually never really rode much. I was never a rider. I didn't have that kind of money, but I worked at the barn, and I loved that. And then I got multiple injuries and injuries and injuries, and so eventually that career ended, and I had to shift, and then I had to fall back on a degree that I didn't necessarily want. I have a bachelor's degree in history, which I got by default. I had gone into school originally wanting an animal science degree, and I got a history degree. I was doing a double major because I just loved history and I thought history was cool, but I was like, I'm never going to do anything with history because the only thing you can do with history is work at a school or work in a museum. And I wasn't going to do either of those. But then life changed, and I ended up having to transfer out of the school that I was in and going to a school that did not have an equine studies program, and they only had a history program. So in order for me to just finish my degree and move on with life, I had to get a history degree, which at that point I was like, well, I'm never going to do anything with this. So I did, after I had to move out of my equine work, working with horse farms. um, I then started like substitute teaching at a school, and eventually I did get a job in a museum, and it was a job that I loved. I loved it so much. Um, I worked at the Higgins Army Museum, and when I got that job, it was like I found my people. Like I found my place. It was amazing. Um, I was finally around people who didn't think I was a freak because I loved Lord of the Rings, and I would talk about Wonder Woman and they would talk about things too. And it was amazing. And I loved everything about it. And I was like, well, this is it. This is my place. I'm going to be here for it. I could make a career out of this. And it didn't matter that I didn't have an advanced degree because I could move forward in the work that I was doing at the museum at that time. Um, and then the museum closed. And so that career path died out. And at that point, I was in a position life wise where I was like, I just need a job. Now I just need a job. I need to pay the bills. Um, and so I got the job that I have now, which I, had high hopes for in the beginning. And then, it just kind of became a job. And so I basically never ended up having the career or the life that I had hoped that I could have. And so every year that my birthday came around, it was just a reminder of that. And I know a lot of people don't have careers and lives that they want, and I know that I'm not alone in that. Um, but I would look around at a lot of other women my age and in similar situations, and they all had children. And even if it seems like even if people don't have a career or something that they can look at, they have children, and they can at least say, well, sure, I might not have a career, I might not have $1 million, I might not have traveled the world, but I have beautiful children and I've raised them and I love them, and that is the most important thing. I don't have that. I never wanted that. I never wanted children. I still don't want children, so I'm not saying that I wish I had done that differently. It's just that that's one more thing that I that I don't have, and that every year was a reminder that, okay, well, I don't have a career. I don't have the lifestyle that I would like. I don't even take vacations. We haven't taken a vacation in like 15 years because we can't afford it. We don't have new cars. We don't have anything. And then I can't even say that I have kids that I've been supporting all this time to make up for it. And I also have not found anything that I have been able to do that I feel like makes a difference. One of the reasons why I started doing the Wonder Woman thing is because I wanted to affect some sort of change, some sort of positivity. And that hasn't changed. That's still a huge motivator for me. But so basically, the whole birthday thing has always just served as a reminder that I have felt, and I know that people might jump on this and say, "Oh no, that's not true." And yes, I intellectually I know that, but I felt like I haven't earned my age. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but I feel like I'm here, and I don't have anything to show for it. I don't have any, like I said, I don't have any career. I haven't traveled the world. I haven't raised children. I haven't done anything. And so the birthday has always been a reminder of my failure. And so I never wanted to acknowledge it because it was too much. Like, that's just, it's basically just saying you're a loser. And, and I just didn't want to even deal with it. So black it out. It's not happening. No, no birthdays, no birthdays, no birthdays. Don't get me a present. Don't send me a card. Don't send me anything. Don't even acknowledge my birthday at all. Um, then the cancer diagnosis came. And now I'm sitting here, and I am 6 days away from having a major surgery that is going to physically change me for the rest of my life. And this is my last birthday in my birth body. And so I just, I feel like I need to acknowledge that, recognize that, um, and and pay honor to it. Because even though it's getting darker out, and I didn't turn on the lights anyway. Even though I've never cared for my birthday, I've cared for myself, and I've cared for my body and my physical being, and so the idea that this is the last birthday I'm ever going to have in my birth body is it's kind of hard. And when people ask me how I'm doing, how things are, I'm for the most part I'm fine with it. Intellectually, I'm fine with the cancer and with the surgery, and I'm not scared of the surgery or anything like that. The only emotion that I can say that I really feel in regards to the whole process is sadness. And in a large way, I don't really even know why. Because yes, I'm losing part of my body, but I'm losing part of my body that has a disease in it. And so what I'm doing is saving my life, and it is going to help me to have more birthdays and to go forward. And I'm very grateful that I have remained healthy this whole time. I have not gotten sick. The cancer hasn't, spread. It hasn't metastasized. And I also, hopefully, will not need to have chemotherapy or radiation. So, I'm hoping that once the surgery is done, then that's it, and I can just move forward, and life will be good. And I know that this surgery doesn't change who I am as a person, and how I feel, and who I love, and who loves me. And I know that. So I don't really know exactly why the overwhelming feeling that I have about it is sadness, but that is what it is. Um, and uh, and it being my birthday, and it being, this kind of landmark birthday, really just kind of brings that home. And so I wanted to acknowledge it. I wanted to honor that feeling. I don't want to repress it, and I don't want to pretend that it's not there, and that everything is fine, because everything is, on some levels, everything is not fine, and that's okay. That's reality, and that is it. It is what I'm going through, and it's what other people go through, and um, so I just want to acknowledge that and put that out there. And it has also given me a different perspective. A lot of cancer survivors have what they call it cancerversary, and it is the anniversary of some moment that they want to acknowledge, either the day that they were diagnosed with cancer, or the day that they were diagnosed cancer free, or the last day of their chemotherapy treatments or something. So with everyone it's different, but a lot of cancer survivors do have their cancerversary. And I was kind of thinking about that. I'm like, well, my diagnosis date is February 23rd. My surgery date is going to be May 21st. Um, so I'm kind of thinking that starting next year, I'm going to have, instead of a cancerversary, I'm going to switch things up from how I've been my whole life, and I'm going to celebrate um, the whole week, from my actual birthday, from the 15th until the 21st, as my rebirthday week. And that's how I have decided I'm going to look at it. Because it really will be a rebirth. It will be a second chance at life from having, this major disease, which I will still have, and it's not over, but this portion of it is over. Um, so I am going to start celebrating my birthday, because next year, when it is my birthday, I will have been alive for another year, and that will be pretty great. Um, and then, the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, and every year going forward is going to be really great to be alive. So, uh, so that's what I wanted to share. Like I said, you're not really directly cancer related, but it is a very significant milestone for me. So I just wanted to share that with the people that I love and that I care about and that I know care about me. And let's just put that up there for going forward. So today is my last birthday in this body, with these breasts that I was given at birth, and next year I will have a different I will have different breasts, but I will be the same me, and I will be me still alive. So that would be pretty great. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share on that note. And this is really getting annoying, this smudge. So it's about time that I close out, because now I've been crying and I'm definitely noticing that my makeup is smudged, and that's just not cool. So thank you all for listening, paying attention, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.